What's going on, guys? Spud here, and welcome to episode 45 of the Roundup. In today's episode, OpTic 3-0 Toronto Ultra, but also lose to LAG. Our major four predictions, where I'm expecting a very good event at DreamHack. Miami Heretics, could they be the next team to get the maximum amount of wins in a split and then fail to win the tournament as they go 5-0? We'll also be reviewing all the matches, doing our MVP and Rookie of the Year ladders as always, and obviously our major four predictions, which is the main point. Who's going to make champs? I think we kind of know who's going to make champs already, but obviously we'll find out some other stuff here as well. And if you are new, please do drop a subscription to the channel. It is really appreciated, and like the video. Honestly, I've got no idea what's going to happen here at Major 4. My predictions, honestly, my predictions are very meh. So, without further ado, let's get into these matches. So we start with the shock, which was Gentlemate actually won a series, and of course it was against OpTic. Bloody OpTic. I mean, statistically, you would think how on earth did they lose, but the hard points were close, but won by M8'S. And then they destroyed OpTic on the protocol S&D, so well done to them. Johnny had a brilliant series, dropping the most damage in the lobby, the most kills in the lobby, and the best KD in the lobby. On the other side, everyone played well on OpTic, but it means nothing if you don't win the series, especially against one of the worst teams in the game. But yeah, well done here to Gentlemates. Obviously, not really anyone. 2% of people predicted them to win this series. Obviously, nobody really saw this coming, but it gives them a bit of confidence going into the major, I guess. That they can win a game. Honestly, I don't really know what they actually can do going forward. I mean, obviously they've got EWC. They're not making champs. So it ultimately comes down to if they can have a good EWC, which I think they definitely could do, but credit to them here for a good performance. And then we had Ravens Rocker. Now, Ravens have been very, very hit and miss since they got rid of Vivid. I mean, they mainly miss. But they do lose here 3-1. Well, big points here for the Rocker. It was actually quite a close series. Gwyn had a really rough one, though. Obviously, you know, he was in my Rookie of the Year ladder for most of the season until, like, the last split and a half. Rex, though, was playing pretty well, and that gives Ravens a bit of hope that at least Rex was playing well. On the other side, Nero went off it here. 121 kills in 4 maps, 15,000 damage. A very dominant series from him. I'll show you the round 11 here in the S&D.
1v2. Bomb planet A. Oh, hello. It's on, Geo. Redemption, here we go.
TJ has been doing this since he was 12 years old. Used to clutch ones in his pajamas. Geo, newer man on the block.
PJ Haley. PJ Haley gets put to bed in round 11.
Really good play there from Geo, obviously, to see that map out with the 1v2 clutch. And then Rocker obviously win the control. And then the hard play after that, and they needed to win because realistically they couldn't afford to start in losers bracket because obviously they're like I think they're 40 points off OpTic now, so they're gonna need to get at least top 3 and OpTic to not get top 6. It's doable. It's definitely doable still. Same goes for Cloud9 as well. And then we had Boston Breach versus LA Thieves. I was expecting this to be pretty dominant, but I didn't expect it to be as dominant as this. Cammy drops to 0.49. Scrap and Envoy here with the best KDs. Everyone played well. It was dominant for the Thieves. Really, really good performance here. Obviously, they've had a bit of a rough online stint, but I think honestly, the online, like, I think OpTic a 3rd seed with a 3-2 record. Like, I do think that the midfield this season is a lot closer. You know, you've seen, like, I mean, Heretics are now 1st seed, you know, Surge have had grand finals back to back. Ultra have looked good even without Scrap. Ravens got top 4 in their first major, you know, and they got to a final of the minor tournament. It does feel like it's not like it used to be in the last couple of seasons where it was just like 4 teams and everyone else was crap. Definitely feels different this season, but yeah, this was a really good series here from the Thieves. MVP went to Scrap, who did go 6-2 in the S&D. But yeah, good performance there from the Thieves, but it was expected that they would win that series. And then we move on to Saturday, and we had the Falcons, the final online match for the Falcons. I don't think they played on Sunday, and they got slammed. 3-0 against FaZe here. This was easy for FaZe. Celium, you know, MVP for a reason. Abeezy also having a pretty good series here. On the other side, nobody playing well. RCT, sorry, 0.6. I'm assuming that Falcons aren't going to change their team after EWC unless there's obviously any... I mean, to be honest, if any players become available after Major 4 or after Champs for EWC, you could potentially see a change or two, but I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I think Falcons will just stick with it. I mean, Xnid and Pred should be there next year, but I don't know about the rest of the team. I mean, I would be definitely changing them ARs as soon as you can. And then we had Cloud9 versus Thieves. This is obviously an important game for Cloud9, and honestly, you know, they threw up through the S&D. I think honestly, Cloud9 should have done better there. But this series was won by the Thieves. Another 3-0. A pretty decent weekend for the Thieves. Scrap, another really good series out of him. I'll show you the round 11 though, with this brilliant ninja defuse from the Thieves.
Here we go. Pom Plant on a fast. Show how many streaks we've got to play with here for the Thieves. That will clear out these dirty little corners of the video store. Scrap's going wide. Kremp, you saw his ass. You saw cheeks. You saw shoulders. Oh, and Envoy just jumped straight on the defuse. No way! I don't believe this!
That's my MVP.
Way! That's your MVP! And that is the game! Dylan had...
That was very impressive from Envoy. But again, that's poor from Cloud9 because they should be expecting that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, they should have had someone just watching just in case, but they obviously didn't, and it's cost them, and it's a 3-0. They had to win that series for any chance of making champs, in my opinion. They just took way too long to make their roster changes. Like, they should have made the roster change after maybe the first split, not after 3. And then Miami Heretics, apart from the S&D, this was another dominant series. Rencor with a 2.03 KD, which I believe is now the best KD of the season. He went double positive. He had 8,600 damage. Real got a 1.6 as well. Super actually had a rough series. Worst damage on the team, but I'm sure they're not going to care about that. On the other side, 0.5 for Slasher and TJ Halley. What has happened to Miami Heretics? Like, Miami Heretics are either going to do unbelievable at this major or flop massively because they're #1 seed.
Or find a first blood. I thought he caught him there, but the slide across for Real, he gets through. Bomb now getting planted. And what the last player needed to kind of transition over, I believe, was Metals is going to get involved. And this is just how do they try to retake it? Looks like 3 through the flank.
It's going to take a long time.
It sure is. Already 15 seconds off this post plant.
And as soon as they get spotted, they just run at Rencor.
Rencor's just waiting.
They're going to run it.
Not yet. They're just holding. They're turtling up. And now collapsing is Miami, but you got to go. 20 seconds to go. They're getting picked apart. They don't isolate Real, and they all get shut down. Real finally drops, but everyone from Ravens is dead.
So easy there for the Heretics. Ravens just looked amateurish in that play. Also, I can't wait for I saw obviously this is just completely off topic, but obviously Simple's return to CS and obviously being on FaZe, and then they played a series against BC Game, who were like 75th ranked, so they're not a great team. But I think Simple at one point was 21-2 on one of the maps, which is just nuts. And then the final match on the Saturday was Ultra versus Surge, and it was won 3-1 by the Surge. And Neptune, you know, this is why he's third on my MVP ladder before this episode. 1.39, really good series out of him. Obviously the game changer of this roster, but look at how close the first two maps were. Ultra just win the hard point, and they were down a lot as well. If we actually look at the Ultra stats, no one really played well. You could argue that maybe ROTY Ladder did okay, but no one was outstanding for Ultra.
Or take a route. No, he wants to force it through. Vancouver Surge trying to win it here. Might be a mistake, and they get gunned. And now everybody's spawning in the back again. Ultra, they have survived to another hill, and they've won the rotation to new.
It's not over yet. To the garage we go once again. To Joe Deceives. Oh, wait, inside mid-map. Cut him off. 2. Holy! Big old pinch now happening from Neptune's going to make his way from the top side. Nasty from the left side street. Gone. The hard point now in Ultra's hands. The map in the balance.
They have a pinch though. Neptune's gonna die immediately. Double child rolling through. Should be enough. Bean's got to slide in. Looking for one up top. He's gonna give you 2. He does the damage. 3rd, and this
How good was that play from Beans, by the way?
is the final push. This is for the game.
Neptune from upstairs. Down low is going to be a boozer. The trades are not there yet. Ultra now the battle on time. Joe and Beans, they get the kills. Joe goes huge. What a comeback.
See Beans there, he went crazy. That was unbelievable. Imagine that happened on LAN. The limbs would be sensational. I've just remembered Beans is going to be back on LAN. Unless his visa's fucked again. Yeah, honestly though, we'll show you the round 11. But apart from that, the first 2 maps were a bang out. It's the 3rd and 4th one
Attacking the final round.
They take a big hit from the opening frags, and they're trying to push that pace. You saw him as well. Well played. Net backs up, gives him the A-bomb site. They were trying to capitalize off the nade damage. Oh, and the hop check. Insight spotted him out as well. Massive stun. Possibly 3 players. The nade connects as well. Can anyone capitalize on this damage?
What a crazy minimap.
Oh my
first
god. What a first blood. Complete and total encirclement of the A-bomb site now, but it's B where the plant will go down. Vancouver in position to make this happen.
Ooh, Neptune knows, yeah, if there was a trade rolling through, if he overcommits to that, he dies. Great resolve. You get the bomb down, you flip spawns 4v3.
Yeah, Boozer might be the man to win you the map here. That is it. A Boozer, he may have hit it absolutely right through the heart of Ultra.
That was brilliant from Neptune. Brilliant. That play was superb because yeah, like the caster said, obviously if he goes and overcommits that play, he might get a kill, but then he gets traded, and obviously you'd rather be 4v3 than 3v2 because you might not even get the kill, and then if you go 3v3, you know, Ultra have more of a chance. But yeah, good series there from Surge. That gives them some confidence going into the major. But obviously it means that they're now playing LA Thieves. So then, obviously I said that my prediction was that the underdog teams in these 3 matches would win. I was wrong for 2 of them. Yeah, Breach, comfortable win. M8'S just got lucky against OpTic. Awakening. Is that an MVP for Awakening? No, it was given to Snoopy, but I'd be giving it to Awakening because he got more damage. Good series though from Breach. I just don't know. They don't really have a ceiling. No, they do have a ceiling. Sorry, their ceiling is like a top 6. Like they're not gonna get a championship Sunday with this roster. They're just not. Famous last words. Obviously, we'll have to see about that. But I just don't think that they will because they just don't have anything really for me that like sticks out. You know. 2 more online matches to cover. Obviously, they weren't really that exciting this weekend, bar like maybe a few of the maps on the Ultra series against Surge. Also, obviously, next week's roundup 46 will be Major 4 review. Roundup 47 will be champs predictions, champs award, like end of season awards maybe, and then 48 might be. I don't know what we'll do yet. We'll kind of discuss it episode by episode, but obviously we want to get to episode 49 before champs, and then episode 50 being the champs special, and the 50th episode of the roundup. Just it feels perfect, you know, like perfect. So after OpTic lost to M8'S, for some reason I had a feeling OpTic were going to win this series even after losing to M8'S, and they did beat the Toronto Ultra 3-0 here. And it was a brilliant series from the SMGs of OpTic. Hugh and Shotzi with very, very good kills here. to help win the series. On the other side, I thought Kleenex did alright. Insight, though, was very rough here. 45 kills, 0.8. The least damage in the lobby. But yeah, really good series here from OpTic. We'll show you the end of this hard point, because the hard point was good. The rest of the series was, you know, I was happy OpTic won, obviously, but the first map was class.
Ultra. Ultra have been here before. Game clock goes red. OpTic on time. Toronto with the numbers. Mercury's with the kills. Can Insight find 2 here? Can't even get 1. You've got yourself onto the hard point. You have to hold position here. Look at the red clock. 15 seconds to go.
Ultra, they need the time. OpTic, you just need the kills. Get the kills, get them out of time, you'll win by the game clock.
They're trying to win by the game clock right now. Insight has got to go absolutely huge. You have to get on time. You have to clear out the power positions. 7.8 stopped. A big win from Kleenex. Hard point open again. Beans, can he get 2? Can he get time? Yes, we're alive and kicking still. 3.2 to go.
Everybody's got a soak. You can't let them get close. Can't let them get close by the time, and they're squaring up.
They're squaring up through the door, through the hot gates. It's going to be a kill box. Beans trying to keep him back. That's game nearly Joe. 0.9 off time. OpTic.
2 from Dashy there. Helped them win the map. Brilliant player from the AR player there. Obviously my favourite player. Yeah, good going for OpTic. Really good win that. And obviously I've read a stat that they've only lost 2 controls since Mercules came into the team. So OpTic's best mode is definitely control at the moment. Obviously if they could win map 1 or 2, win the control, and then, you know, they're 2-1 up. Obviously that happened against Gentlemates and they lost, but you could argue that was just like a bad day for OpTic. And the vibes are bad. Anyway, the final online series of the season was via Minnesota Rocker versus Vancouver Surge. I did predict a Rocker win. I was wrong. The S&D was good though from Rocker, 6-0. Really good. But Estral, who's had a decent season, a bit rough here. Nero, who obviously had a 1.2 the series before, had a rough one. Neptune 04 with the high kill engagements here. And MVP probably was all 4, I would assume, yeah. Even though he's normally a good S&D player, obviously they were bad at S&D. Kenny dropped an infinity KD. He went 11-0 here in this S&D. Where Gio only got 209 damage, Kenny went 11-0. An infinite KD. And yeah, really good map there from him. But obviously the rest of the series was pretty rough. But he had a good series himself. Most damage on the team, most kills on the team, highest KD on the team, you know. But yeah, a rough one for Rocco. I think it was a must-win because the gap to OpTic's obviously 10 points higher now than it was when the split started, because obviously OpTic won an extra series. Well, that was a pretty quick roundup of the matches because obviously we've got our MVP ladder and we've got our predictions. We're going to start with the MVP ladder first. So obviously, we're just going to have the webcam off now for the rest of the episode whilst we do all this. So MVP of the week. Is going to be Scrap. 2 very good series. It was between Scrap and Neptune, but I'm going to go with Scrap. You could argue maybe Renko actually for that double positive, but I prefer to just go for players that have had 2 series. So it's a bit unfair, I get that, but I'm going to go with Scrap. So then our ladders. So Rookie of the Year ladder. Obviously next week we're going to be doing our final Rookie of the Year and MVP ladders because it's only for the regular season. Then you can have your Champs MVP and EWC MVP separately, of course. So even though, honestly, the Rookie of the Year ladder, there is one change. I have moved Dylan Rex up to 6th, and I've put Kicks in 7th. Even though he hasn't played for like 2.5 splits, maybe even longer actually. But I'm pretty happy with those, to be honest. Renko Renko's going to win Rookie of the Year. Super should be 2nd. You can argue Exnod or Mercules at 3rd, but I'm going to keep Mercules there. Luna's 5th, Rex 6th, Kick 7th, King 8th, Roxas 9th, and WXSL 10th. So with that, obviously, could that change going into this final week? If OpTic win and Mercules gets MVP, he might go up to second, but I can't see Rencor losing top spot now. And then we talk about the Rookie of the Year ladder basically being the same, just one little change. With the MVP ladder, I have actually made one change, and I'm going to take Kleenex out of the top 10. So he was in 9th. I'm going to keep Real in 10th, and I'm going to put Rencor up to 9th. So it's Celium, Scrap, Neptune, Simp, Joe Deceives, Hydra, Draza, Abuza, Rencor, Real. And I'm pretty happy with that. But obviously the major is going to have an impact. Like if Surge win, if Surge get top 12 and let's say Ultra win, Joe Deceives MVP, then I mean, I think Celium and Scrap will stay 1 and 2, unless Simp goes on an absolute crazy major 4 and wins MVP. And then obviously if he's got 2 MVPs, I might put him in second. But I think that the top 2 will stay the same, and the rest of the people on the ladder can definitely change. Right, it's time for our Major 4 bracket. Now, obviously, this is at DreamHack. It's going to be a really good event. I'm looking forward to it a lot. But let's see where we're going to put players here. A team, sorry, not players. So, Heretics versus Rocket to start. Obviously, well done at Heretics for getting number 1 seed. I think they will win this series pretty convincingly as well and send Rocket to losers bracket. I'm going to go with a 3-0 here, actually. Thieves versus Surge, 4th versus 5th in this seed, is very, very, very good. And to be honest, when I first did this prediction bracket, I actually went for Surge because Scrap's winners round 1 record is actually quite bad. But I am going to go with the Thieves just to see out the Surge. I'm going to say this will go to a game 5. But Thieves will have the ice and see it out. FaZe versus Cloud9. Obviously, Cloud9 did beat FaZe online this split. But LAN's a different story. Cloud9 need this win for any chance of making champs. They really need to get to a top 3, in my opinion. Top 4, top 3. I'd say top 3, really. And I can't see it happening through the winners bracket. So I'm going to go with FaZe to win this one 3-0. OpTic versus Ultra. Now, obviously, OpTic just 3-0'd Ultra. But this is LAN. And we've seen OpTic have played Miami Heretics at winners round 1 and major 1 lost. They got slammed by Boston Breach last event in the winners round 1. So because of that, I am going to go with Toronto Ultra to beat OpTic here. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win here for Ultra. I think OpTic will take the control. But that's unfortunately all they're going to take. So then that's obviously the winners round 1 games done. Then we have our losers round 1s. Breach versus Rocker. Breach are going to make champs, I think, pretty comfortably now. Will Rocker be able to make champs? The answer is no. I'm going to go with a Boston Breach 3-1 win here. No, 3-2. 3-2 win here for the Breach, and Rocker's champs hopes are done and dusted. Which will be back-to-back years that they haven't made champs. Surge versus Falcons. Surge 3-0. Pretty straightforward. Cloud9 versus the Gentlemates. I'm going to go 3-2. I think this will go to a game 5, and I'm going to actually go with Cloud9. I can't go with Gentlemates to win. I just can't do it. Cloud9 will obviously keep themselves in a very low, but still possible champs contention. They would need to be praying that Royal Ravens can defeat OpTic. Will that happen? No, I've got OpTic winning this one 3-1. I think it'll be a pretty comfortable series here for OpTic. They might lose the S&D, but I think they'll win both hard points in the control. So then that leaves us with 8 teams. We're going to do Heretics versus Thieves, and I think this is going to be 3-1 to the Thieves. Actually, wait, no. Well, yes, I've messed this up. We're going to do these loser games first. Surge versus OpTic. Surge versus Breach, sorry. God, I'm useless, aren't I? I've got Surge winning this 3-1. OpTic versus Cloud9 is going to be closer than people think. I'm going to go all the way to the distance, 3-2 to OpTic. Obviously, if Cloud9 lose, OpTic have made champs. If OpTic lose, Cloud9 could still make champs over OpTic. Thieves versus Heretics is going to be 3-1 to Thieves, like I said. Apologies. And then Ultra versus FaZe. Oh, it's so close. I'm going to go 3-1 to FaZe, though. Which then obviously leads us to Surge versus Ultra, which just happened at Major 4 Online qualifiers. I'm going to go with Surge, because they're both good teams. Like, one of these having to go out top 6 is rough, but I'm going to go with Surge to win. Obviously, this is at DreamHack as well. There's going to be 2 games on at once on separate streams. Now, I'm going to obviously be watching both streams at once, but obviously OpTic's winners matches on the Alpha stream, whereas FaZe versus Cloud9 is OpTic Ultra is on the A stream. On the B stream is Cloud9 versus FaZe, but obviously I'm going to have both on, but I'm going to be predominantly focusing on the OpTic series, of course. OpTic versus Heretics is going to be a banger, and do you know what? I'm going to go for a bit of a surprise result. And I'm going to go with OpTic. And I think Heretics getting top 6 is actually a disappointing. Being 5-0 is disappointing for them. This is where the delusion starts to kick in, because I've actually got OpTic beating Vancouver Surge. What am I thinking? They're going to get top 8. Let's just put the top 8 in the bag. Just put the top 8 in the bag. Honestly, just put the top 8 in the bag. FaZe versus Thieves winners final, though. This will be good. I'm expecting some drama with Scrap and Draza. Obviously, because it's the one just before champs as well, you know, it should be really good. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen, to be honest, today, but not today, sorry. On Champ Sunday, but I've gone for FaZe. 3-1. Oh, I've just fucked that up so badly, haven't I? Well, I've just spoiled the next match. Honestly, I can't even do these right, can I? Can't even do these right. God, I am useless, aren't I? Right, well, Thieves are going to beat OpTic 3-0. Major 4 champs, though. This is the important bit. Four, 2 to the Thieves, which means they're not going to win the Major 4 champs. So it's probably going to be FaZe or Surge or someone else, but it's not going to be Thieves because I've predicted the wrong winner, I think, for the last 2 years. Every single time I get it wrong. I've gone Thieves, though. I just think it's really unpredictable. Because of the online split, this is a really unpredictable split, like an unpredictable bracket. If OpTic win, though, I'd be shocked. Like, I think top 3 is very generous. If they get to Championship Sunday, I'm taking it as a positive at this point. But that's going to be the end. I just don't know, honestly. By the way, I love this thumbnail this week. I know I've gone for Dashi again. Yeah, I know. I think out of everyone, do you know, I've been thinking, like, who's on the thumbnail the most? It's either, like, the FaZe guys. Scrap's been on a few. Obviously, Dashi's been on a few. Pred's been on a few. I was gonna. It was, to be honest, it was between this one and there was one with Shotzi, and I just went for this one because I love the green in the background. But that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Please do like, subscribe, and comment who you think's gonna win Major 4, because I think it'll be a really good tournament. Obviously, we're going to do a DreamHack review as well, probably talk about the Halo, talk about the CS, stuff like that. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a great evening. Of course, I'm recording this at Wednesday afternoon. It'll be out tonight. We're only doing 2 YouTube videos at a time now, because obviously F125 comes out next week. We're going to be bringing back performance pushes on a Saturday. But we're going to be more consistent with it, so that's why we're only doing 2 videos a week at the moment. But we have YouTube Shorts as well, which we occasionally upload as well. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to drop a follow on my Twitch account as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Cheers, everyone.